We are here to talk about another Goldendoodle litter, petite to medium size, around the 18 to 25 pound mark. So this female, when she got here, was 8 to 9 days into her heat cycle. Her numbers were super high, the way she was acting. I would have bet money that she wasn't gonna get pregnant, but we ultrasounded her today and she's got babies inside. So who I am talking about is Rylie. So Rylie and Mac actually, which I don't know if you can see this tall fencing that's over here, he is here boarding. So I'll kind of throw up some videos of him. I do need to trim him up a little because he's got a little bit, one ear's longer than the other. I need to trim his eyes and stuff like that. I'm so grateful. His guardian does a fantastic job with him and he actually grooms him himself. But sometimes I gotta kind of spiff up a little bit, which is completely fine. But we are just in love, not only with Rylie and her silky, thick coat, but also with Mac because he is just like this little square, thick, 18 pound, 19 pound boy. And them together made awesome puppies last time. So their last litter, they had 4 puppies. So the litter before that, she was bred to Leroy, also had 4 puppies. So let me go ahead. I am gonna grab my folder or my notebook, just because it's a lot to remember, like dates and stuff, just for the fact that, you know, we did already breed her 5.5 weeks ago, and then today we ultrasounded. So it's a little bit later than we normally like to ultrasound, but I don't want to talk too much yet without getting into some of the video because I don't want to bore you guys. But let's go ahead and show you guys. They came here when we bred. The first time Rylie had really long hair and I had to groom her, and I'll explain that. And then same with Mac, I did kind of trim him up after. So the first breeding, they don't look that great, but then maybe the second breed is a little bit better. But keep an eye and watch Rylie of how she's acting, because she was not a very flirty, like wanting to breed girl. It was kind of a very snarky, don't, you know, sitting down, don't touch me. So let me tell you about her numbers real quick before I show the video, because obviously we need to know when to breed. So June 14th, her guardian said that was the first day of blood. So it was gonna be the weekend to where it was day 8 or 9 into bleeding. Usually ovulation is anywhere from day 10 to 14 in that range. So 8 or 9, I thought we would definitely be early. You know, I kept checking in with them, asking how was her blood color, was she like flagging her tail, was she doing anything, you know, different to show that she might be ready. She got here June 22nd, so that was day 8 or 9, you know, depending on that first day. Her test come back is 33.77. That's like, okay, we're ready, we better go ahead and breed. So we did go ahead at that time and get her and Mac together and breed, so here's that video. So that was the first day. So again, don't look at their hair very much. I don't know how much I actually showed of that because I'm pre-recording this by the time I sit down at my computer. But I do know that their hair is gonna look much better on the second time. But we had both of them here, mom and dad, we bred. So the next day, so 16 hours later, I went ahead and bred her again just because I knew we needed, if we wanted 2 doses in her, we needed to go ahead and get it done pretty quick. And usually anywhere from like 12 to 24 hours if we're right on that time, you know, if it is a time that we're having to crunch. But what I did is I went ahead and took Rylie from here and drove to Mac's guardian's home. So you'll see here, actually, I tried to video quite a bit of her not, you know, wanting him to mess with her. So watch this video and you can see the second breeding. I did have to AI both times. Okay, so if you can remember what I said earlier in the video, her first numbers was 33.77. So I thought, let's go ahead and test again just to make sure the next day that we're still rising, because she was acting so snarky, just like she wasn't acting like she was ready. So we try to like have all this play a part of the color of blood, how they're acting, you know, their progesterone numbers. So when we did her second numbers, it was 25.74. So they went down from 33 to 25. I was like, we missed it. So when females start their heat cycle, you know, progesterone should be pretty low, if not anything. So the progesterone numbers, we want above a 12, but they need to keep rising. So obviously the first numbers being 33, that's great to start, you know, if they kept rising, but then it dropped back down to a 25. So you know what? She could have been a 30. Like, because with my machine, we've got like 1 or 2 points up or down, like both ways. She could have been right at the same number, just the first time we tested her, she might, instead of being a 33, she could have been a 30. The second time she showed a 25.7, she could have been a 28. So she could have been like leveled out. I don't know, for her actions of not wanting it, it's just the weird part, because if you watch her last video, which I'll throw up right here, when you watch her last video, she was like putting it in his face and trying to hump him and like all over him, to where this time she was like, don't touch me. And that normally means that either they're not ready or we're too late. So I would have bet money on this that she wasn't gonna be pregnant. But today, we're 5.5 weeks in. So we're a little bit further along than we like to ultrasound, but I did go and ultrasound her today and we saw some babies. So let me go ahead and show you. So congratulations, Rylie and Mac. We are having another litter of petite to mini Goldendoodles. I am excited. Here is their past puppies. You can see the 4 puppies are just gorgeous. So we had an all-party puppy pretty much. She was just perfect, her colors, all the way to these tuxedos. So I'm just ready to see what these babies will look like. I will know that her last puppies, if only having 4, she did kind of have a little bit of a, not a rough time having her babies, but they were on the bigger side. So we went ahead and stressed to the family to not overfeed her, even if she wants to eat. She's thick, she's got it. Her body's gonna feed those babies. Obviously she's gonna need to eat her regular meals, but I don't want them to up her food any, because I don't want those babies to grow any more than they're supposed to, because they don't need to be any bigger. I do know when you have guardians, and I've done it before here actually, where I had a mom, and I can't remember which one it was, but I remember doing it. I let her eat as much as she wanted, and she was eating a lot, and she didn't have an upset tummy. So I was just like feeding her, feeding her, feeding her. Her puppies were big. So I do think that that had a big part of why they grew so fast the last like week to week and a half, was because she ate too much. So that's one thing as a breeder that I keep in mind, is we do like to up the food a little about halfway in to the pregnancy, but we don't want to up it too much. Obviously we want mom to have a thicker, you know, body and stuff like that, usually before we breed them, just so they've got that to work around. And you know, because their body is going to feed the babies before, you know, nutritioning itself most of the time. They've got those babies covered. So thank you guys so much for watching. Go to my website if you have any interest in these litters. Let me know. This litter, or we've got Aussie Doodles. We've got some Aussie Australian Labradoodles that are coming up, and we've got more litters here pretty soon that you'll see that we are actually breeding again with Mac. I haven't posted that yet, but that video will be up very soon because we did plan to breed him with one of our girls that's in heat right now. And you know, we're just having a hard time producing tuxedos with Kevin. So Mac's our boy. He is the calmest, sweetest little baby. I'm just so happy that he is a part of our program. Love all of them so much. So again, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.